Social Security payment delays? Is this for real? It's been really crazy lately with all the DMs, the emails, the messages from you guys asking about what is going to happen with Social Security benefits if the United States hits the debt limit. I figured it's time to give you guys some insights into exactly what's going on. So first, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she's warning about how a delay in that debt ceiling agreement in Congress could lead to a financial ruin for the entire country. Here, check this out.
The default would threaten the gains that we've worked so hard to make over the past few years in our pandemic recovery, and it would spark a global downturn that would set us back much further. It would also risk undermining U.S. global economic leadership and raise questions about our ability to defend our national security interests.
So what do you guys think? Are they deliberately just trying to drive this country off of a financial cliff? Drop a quick comment, yes or no, down below. Now, as for those Social Security payments, so according to the Wall Street Journal, economists and policy advocates say that millions of Americans will probably still receive their Social Security checks even if Congress fails to reach a deal to raise the U.S. debt limit. But here's the catch, you guys. There is still a chance that the checks could possibly be delayed or even temporarily reduced if the government defaults on its obligations for the first time since the U.S. Treasury was established back in 1789. Now, this could trigger a serious household financial crisis that everybody needs to be aware of, especially since it would be a precedent of the long list of accomplishments that the Biden administration would love for the American people to be so happy and proud of. Now, imagine the first time that the government would default on its debt since its inception. I don't think that any of us ever thought that we would get to live to see that. Not that this is a good thing at all, but more importantly, will we get to live through it? Now, a lot of the people that I've been talking to, they're all about banking on themselves. Some of them, they quit banking on Social Security being there for them about 20 years back. Now they're in their 60s thanking God that they don't have to depend on it being there. Now, unfortunately, I know a lot of people do. So really, it's just plain infuriating that we had to pay into something that's being frittered away by the powers that be, both past and present. Kind of like our taxes. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right to it. Also, by the way, for the best way to invest in gold or silver, check out the links in the description down below of this video. Hey, I get that this might be a very sensitive topic and I might not necessarily be the most popular person right now for bringing this up, but hear me out, guys. Don't shoot the messenger, all right? I just want to update and educate you on something that's very important. So let's talk about probably, all right? Now, when we say that the Social Security checks will probably be delayed, it means that there's no guarantee that it's going to arrive on time. And it's a big deal, especially those who are living paycheck to paycheck and really rely on these checks for the most or all of their income. Now, I'm talking about those without any kind of extra side hustles, any kind of extra passive income or backup plan. Bills need to be paid, necessities need to be purchased, and obligations need to be fulfilled even if the income is uncertain. Now think about it. If you have any payments linked to your bank account that rely on direct deposits from Social Security, SSI, SSDI, you could possibly be in trouble if those payments are delayed. And this could easily be through no fault of your own. You'd still be screwed though. And let's be real, a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck with very little wiggle room for mistakes or unexpected fees, overdraft fees, or insufficient fund fees. These could easily wipe out whatever little discretionary income you may have had left. And if you don't receive your Social Security payments on time, then, well, you could potentially default on your loans, default on your debt, experience some type of repos, repossessions. You can get your power or your utilities cut off. You might even be evicted depending upon your situation. All because the government couldn't come to an agreement and your funds did not arrive and hit your bank account on time. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Now, in a time like this with high inflation, a recession, and a very shaky banking system to say the least, it's important to think about our own financial security. The U.S. government is having some internal conflicts with Congress and the Biden administration dealing with the budget, the debt ceiling, and the deficit. Add that in with bank bail-ins becomes a very worrisome place to be. People have to start being their own bank and learning discipline in spending. Honestly, I'd rather be in a better position where I have some insulation for myself and my family, and maybe even my business, so that we're not so completely at the mercy of whatever might happen. You never know when some negative event might hit, and it's not always something that we could have prevented. So I think it's time that we really buckle down and find ways to become more self-sufficient. Building up savings and a safety net is crucial, but it's also important to look at diversifying our income streams, not just one income stream. Diversity, security, and cash flow, they're all really important. I've been telling you guys since November, and it's still just as true now as it was back then. In fact, I think some people are starting to see just how valuable having diverse income streams can be. And if you had started preparing 6, maybe 7 months ago, you'd be in a much better position right now. Now, there is a legal obligation for the government to pay Social Security benefits benefits, but there's always a chance that something could go wrong. Now, if there is a shutdown or some type of a default, there could always be delays in getting paid. Now, it's unlikely that you wouldn't be paid at all, but who knows how long you might have to wait to get paid. Now, there's also the issue of Social Security trust funds running out sooner than expected. Some people might start taking their benefits earlier than planned, and that could make the fund run out even faster. Now, with that being said, I don't think we need to worry about Social Security being completely canceled or even wiped out. The biggest risk right now is just not getting paid on time, which could cause some problems for people who rely on the Social Security income. So like we just saw a few weeks back that these big US banks on Wall Street, JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they were having some major glitches in their systems and weren't able to get direct deposits to their customers. And we're not talking about small banks like Silicon Valley Bank or Signature Bank. We're talking about the big guys. Like, what's going on here? Seriously. And it's not like they're doing us any favors by holding on to our money, right? So anyway, the bottom line is that some people were getting left hanging, waiting for their money to come in. And it caused all sorts of problems, especially for those of us who aren't exactly rolling in dough. Let's be real, a lot of people are not. So what can we do to protect ourselves against this kind of stuff? How can people stop living paycheck to paycheck and actually start getting ahead? Well, there's plenty of options and answers to these questions. Now, I've talked about the basics of financial freedom before, but many people just ignore them. You know how it is. You find yourself in these situations where it feels like life is just totally unfair, like everybody's against you and you just can't get ahead. Maybe you were born into poverty, and you think you can just never get rich or even just get out of the poverty situation that you're in. Or maybe you just can't seem to get ahead no matter what you do. But trust me when I say that life gets a whole lot simpler when you don't have to worry about money all the time. I mean, sure, it's not just about money, but it's really hard to deny that life is a lot easier when you don't have to stress about getting paid on time, paying bills, or calculating just how much gas you can afford right now. Now, once you hit the point where you're not constantly worrying about your finances, things start to feel pretty good. You can focus on making more money if you want to, but that comes with its own set of stresses. Now, the trick is to find a balance between, where you're not putting yourself at risk to make more money, and you're also not necessarily stressing yourself out to hold on to what little you have. Now, honestly, though, it's just not easy to get to that point where you're financially secure, but it is still worth it. Now, a lot of people don't have any savings. They have zero assets. They have no credit cards. There's no available credit and no good credit. They're stuck paying high interest on their credit card bills, their loans, their car payments. They're struggling to make ends meet. Meanwhile, everything around them keeps getting more and more expensive, making it harder and harder just to kind of tread water and keep your head above. And this is regardless of what the government has to say about inflation. Now, I don't want to get too preachy, but the bottom line is that you have to take control of your financial situation if you want to feel better about your life. Bottom line. And it's not enough to just complain and feel sorry for yourself. You need to be willing to make changes and actually put in the work to get ahead. Now, this means making more money if you can, but also being smart about how you spend the money you do get. You need to have a budget, a plan for your money, know where your money is going, and get rid of any high interest debt that's weighing you down. And yes, you should definitely be saving money and investing for the future. No matter what the headlines say about the stock market, I'm still buying stocks. Look, I get it. It's not always easy to do the right thing when it comes to your finances. But if you're not even trying, then you're just setting yourself up for more stress and more problems down the line. So don't be a victim. Take control of your life and your money and see how much better things can be. And you know what America's built on, right? The hard work of blue-collar, middle-class, and working-class people. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these people are being eliminated, including seniors who've worked for decades and rely on Social Security and fixed income benefits, maybe SNAP and EBT benefits as well. I mean, just imagine having to worry about surviving in your latter years as you're getting older and potentially having to go back to work. It's a very slippery slope, and it's a shame that after all that they've already been through, they have to deal with this kind of stress. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but let's just imagine for a moment that Social Security payments did actually get delayed, right? Like, how long could you go without money before things start to fall apart? A day, a week, a month, longer? I mean, it's a real tough situation, and it's not like Congress cares. Most of the members of Congress are multimillionaires, and literally, they'd be fine for years not getting a paycheck. Matter of fact, they're on vacation most of the time, and any kind of disruption could lead to all sorts of problems, from canceled student loan forgiveness to people not getting food stamps, SNAP, EBT, or other benefits that they need to survive. It's not a pretty picture. Now, I also really believe that the crooked politicians that we have in these government offices would stop lining their pockets with money and actually use it to repair roads, to help elderly people, to the sick people, to do good things with our taxpayer dollars and actually use them correctly. If they did that, we might not be in this situation today. So what can you do? Well, first off, you don't rely on anybody else to take care of you. You need to take care of yourself and maybe build a strong community or family network as well. But even then, there's no guarantee that they're going to be able to help you out. And so that's why it's important to be financially prepared for any kind of potential hiccup or disruption that could occur due to no fault of your own. It's not a happy thought, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, let me know if you guys are interested in learning more about our financial freedom fundamentals. I can totally make another video about it right here on the channel. Just drop me some comments down below. Let me know what you guys are interested in hearing more about. I'm also going to leave some very helpful links for you in the description of this video. But for now, that's all for today's video. We covered some pretty heavy stuff about Social Security payments, but I really hope that you guys found it informative and helpful. Basically, what we talked about is that there's a huge risk for Social Security payments that might get delayed, and it could possibly be a huge problem for a lot of people, especially seniors and for those who are on fixed incomes. But here's the thing, guys. We cannot rely on anybody else to take care of us. We need to make sure that we're doing everything that we can do to take care of ourselves, financially speaking. So this means having a retirement strategy that includes income, not just savings. It means that we may need to start building passive income streams. It means being prepared for any kind of potential disruptions or hiccups that might come our way. So make sure that you're doing whatever you can do to secure your financial future. And if you guys found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more informative financial freedom content. So appreciate you guys watching, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one.